Hey, I'm Trent, and you're watching My Geek Show.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get too close.
On this episode of My Geek Show, can I design a glider? We'll test different kinds of design methods and programs. We'll design a glider and build a scale model. Let's get to it. So why take the time to design? Well, first of all, it forces you to think of every detail. That allows you to encounter problems before they become real problems. And you can use that design later to improve your design or to learn from it. Some design steps that I use include identifying objectives to design your airplane. You're taking all those objectives you planned out and seeing if you can put it into a design that makes sense. Once you're done designing the airplane, you take a look at it and see, does it meet all the objectives you originally defined? After that, I build a scale model. There's a lot of reasons you do this. It helps you see if your design is really going to work. It also helps you identify the center of gravity and general flight dynamic. The last thing I do is I take what I learned from that scale model back into the design and go from there. For my glider, my design requirements include easy to build, meaning I'm not going to spend 20 minutes carving this thing out. It's just going to be a couple slices, some hot glue, and we're good to go. I want it cheap to build. I don't want to have a bunch of carbon fiber required to make this thing stable. Interchangeable parts. This is going to be really important. I'm going to want to be able to design different wings, take them on, put them off, design different wing loading, and heck, I'll probably crash this thing a couple of times. I want to be able to take those damaged parts off and put them on with new ones. This is also important to me because in the future, I'm going to want to design airplanes that have this capability anyway. I might as well start learning how to do it. I'm also going to want a bay for storing payloads. This will allow me to add weight to my airplane and test some of the dynamics the wings can handle. I'm going to want a launch hook as well. If I'm going to do scientific testing, I'm not going to want to be hand-throwing this thing. I want to eventually build some kind of airplane slingshot that I'll be able to remove the human element and test the airplane itself. It's also going to need to hold a camera. Lastly, it needs to fit in my car, which for my vehicle is about 3 to 4 feet. The first thing I did was explore different ways to design an airplane. I tried drawing it out on paper and using different programs. See episode 3 for which design program I found to be the best. Let's now review the design to see if it meets all the objectives. First objective, is it easy to build? Well, we've only got a few parts, so to me that means pretty easy to build. I don't have any crazy curves or lines, just straight angles. This is general construction. We've got our wing section, our tail section up here, our wing across the top. Right here you can see it's only going to use one sheet of 4x2 extruded polystyrene foam, which goes for about $1 a slice, so $1 to build this. Next is interchangeable parts. So instead of gluing this wing and this tail section to this body, it'll be able to be adjusted. So basically I'm going to put rubber bands over these sections to keep them to the frame so that I can slide them around and whatnot. Bay for storing weights. It's difficult because you can see right here I've got my launch hook, this little black thing. It's something we'll show you later, but it's basically kind of in an unfortunate spot. This is where the center of gravity will be, meaning that most of the weight for the airplane will have to sit right here. Since I can't put weight right there because of the launch hook, I'm going to have to design some kind of side carrying thing. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put Velcro on the sides right here, on the left and right side of the wing, and up here in this area as well. We're able to put weights on the sides of the airplane. Next objective obviously was that launch hook, which I showed you earlier. And there it is. An ability to hold a camera, I'm just going to put some Velcro right here, throw my camera on the front, and we'd be good to go. Last one is, can it fit in my car? It definitely can. This is 48 inches, and this is 36. So of course this thing will be able to come apart anyway, so I can fit 48 inches, no problem. And now watch in super fast mode as I draw out, cut out, and glue together my scale model that I will use for testing. So I already learned one thing from building this prototype. Rubber banding this tail section on here is going to be pretty impossible unless I have something to grab onto. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece here that'll hang off the edge like that so the rubber band can grab. So what I ended up doing was cutting a rubber band and then tying it. So in the short term, a good fix, but in the long term I have to think about some way to make this easier. I'm also considering that, honestly, how many times am I going to want to test the tail section? I mean, there's only so much you can do with this. The wing is what I'm going to be really testing. Different wing shapes, wing placement. So this is what I might focus on for adaptability. Overall, for the design, I'm thinking though, the tail section looks a little too big relative to the size of the airplane, and the wings look much too small. I'm thinking the relationship between the frame and the wings should be about 1-to-1, or wings more so. But you know what? That's okay. These wings is going to be one of the main components we're going to be swapping out and trying different setups, so I'm not really too bothered by that. Overall, pretty good. Let's test the center of gravity. All I need to do now is give it a good throw. That's it. We've officially designed our glider. Make sure and subscribe to my channel as I put out new videos each week. Thanks for watching my Geek Show.